Day. It was a beautiful day no matter where you were, but it was a mixed bag for temperatures. Let's turn it over to Sean Quinn for a look at what we saw outside.
Yeah, hi there. Look at this. Boy, kind of an interesting mix of temperatures, as you said. Ventura, Santa Barbara in the mid to upper 70s. Nothing to complain about. But then look at Santa Maria right there. And then look at this one on the next page. Look at that. Morro Bay at 91 degrees. And that's because the northeast winds, they hit along the central coast. They just didn't quite make it far enough south. And whenever you have that happen, what ends up happening is you get a little deeper marine layer pushing up. So that's why the beaches south of Point Conception stayed a little cooler. And as you can see right now, the winds are fairly calm across the area. We are expecting to see just a little boost in that offshore flow, especially the farther south you go in our region over the next day or so. And that's about it because the onshore flow is still rearing its head out there. Cooler conditions will be on the way. So maybe one more day of warmth, a little cooler along the central coast, perhaps as early as tomorrow. And then a big drop in temperatures expected by Tuesday. In fact, as we look at the radar, you can see right here, there's the marine layer really getting beat up as we speak, being pushed well offshore. It's going to continue to do that at least for the next day. And that's about it because the Gulf of Alaska is coming to life, beginning to spawn some storms already as we speak. And one of those will start to enter the region by about Tuesday going into Wednesday. And I'll talk about that in just a second. There's a little spurt of winds expected tomorrow morning. So that means areas, again, south of Point Conception, likely to warm tomorrow. Areas to the north will either stay about the same, but as you get closer to the beaches, will likely cool off just a little bit, especially as you head toward the late afternoon as that sea breeze starts to kick in. And then over my shoulder, boy, sorry if I get a little excited, but there's actually some rain out there showing its head, moving into the Pacific Northwest. The tail end will likely roll through our region by about Tuesday, Wednesday. Perhaps just a little bit of much needed moisture will fall in the form of some drizzle. Not really expecting a big rainstorm, but at least maybe it's sort of opening the door to better and bigger things to come as we head into the early winter season. Your overnight lows into the 60s and 50s for most areas. It will be a warm one again tomorrow, but again, we might see a little bit of cooling along the central coast, but as you head farther south, look what happens right here. We really warm things up, and that means back into the 70s and 80s, right on the immediate sand, maybe even a few 90s as you head farther inland for areas like Ojai, back toward Carpinteria, maybe even Camarillo. We'll jump in on that. Some surf out there. Again, we're seeing a swell out of the west-northwest, 295 to 300 degree, and we do have the Central Coast Surf Advisory, a long period swell. So as we saw in some of those tapes we were talking about, you could have a moment when it gets kind of quiet out there, and then out of nowhere, a bunch of waves start really pushing down the coast, and you actually start to see some solid surf. So there's your forecast right there. We're going to go ahead and look at just those two. I'll try to get some more later. But yeah, a little cool down coming by Tuesday and a drizzle possibility on Wednesday. So
I like that.
Get excited.
I am excited. All right, thanks for that, Sean. I see the